Because it's 1,000 years of darkness. And if they're not fucking... Did I even finish the story about Jay Davis? Did I fucking just roll into a whole different point and just not even finish the story about Jay Davis? Jesus Christ. So, alright. Where was I?
The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up around their waists. And all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll whisper,
this is gonna be a weird video to make. Sitting here with my Keep America Great hat on, with my big old Trump 2020 flag behind me. And I'm going to explain to you why I don't advertise that shit outside of the confines of my home. Right? This is why. There was a guy. I just haven't had a chance to talk. There's so much shit going on. Like, there's new things every day. Man, we're 2 months out from the election, and there's something fucking new every day. That's how crazy this election is going. There usually isn't something new every day until, like, the end of September. This is, like, the beginning of September. Well, I mean, now we're in the middle of September. Jesus fucking Christ. There's so many fucking things I want to talk about. There's so much shit that's going on. So I think I might just have to pile some of this stuff in as I go. There's a guy named Aaron Davis, I believe. Some people were saying Jay Davis. I guess Jay is like a nickname. Aaron J. Davis. I don't know. The investigation is more or less... the online investigation has more or less been completed. I've seen all the pictures and all the video and all that kind of stuff. So here's what happened with my little Batman virtual recreation. Close your mind, everybody. I'm going to paint you the picture. So, there's riots going on all the time in Portland. This Trump group decides, and there's just not enough action in our lives, let's go ride through Portland and support Trump. So, they go ride through Portland supporting Trump. I believe this was in Portland. I might be wrong on that detail, but I believe it was in Portland. Location doesn't really matter. The events really are what make the difference. Riots going on for an extended amount of time. Protests going on for an extended amount of time. The opposition decides to hold their own little protest. So they decide to ride through the city. Apparently they had guns and stuff. Some people were saying that they were like paintball guns. Other people were saying that they were rifles and shit. Whatever. They had guns and stuff because they're Trump supporters, and all Trump supporters are armed and fucking just dangerous. So these guys were up to, I mean, I don't know. Personally, I'm a Trump supporter, and whether I was in my indoors, hell yeah, Trump 2020 baby mode, or if I was in my outdoors, I don't talk politics with people I don't know mode, right? If I was either way, I would be walking through Portland with a gun if I was walking through it at all. That's why I don't walk through Portland, because I don't have a concealed carry license. I certainly don't have one in Oregon. I don't even know if they have that in Oregon. But nevertheless, that's why I don't go walking through Portland or New York or Chicago. Any of these fucking places where this shit is going on. And why I won't if I can fucking help it. And if I do, I will be armed. Believe that shit. Because it's dangerous. There's a bunch of people rioting. Like, so, yeah, they roll through with guns. Now, you know, whatever. They roll through with guns. I think it's stupid to question because they're rolling through waving Trump flags. We've seen what happens to 12-year-olds who have a Trump flag on the back of their bike. Dumb people on mopeds ride up, punch them in the back of the head, take their fucking flag, and speed off. Yeah, no shit, that happened. So, right, if that's what they're going to do to 12-year-olds, what will they do to adults who are driving around in big old trucks? Big old gas-guzzling, environment-destroying trucks, right? Waving their Trump flags with their MAGA hats on and all that shit. Hooting and hollering about how great Donald Trump is, right? Now, one would say it's stupid for these people to go to the riot. Yeah, that's a good point. Why the fuck are you going through the riot? Whatever. Like, man, as far as I am concerned, we're in a civil war. As far as I am concerned, all of these people are self-enlisted combatants. All the people at the riots, if any of them get shot, you're war casualties, stupid. Anybody who's on the right, any Trump, whatever the fuck, decides they want to go to the war zone, and go ride around in their fucking war rigs with their war parties and their war weapons, right? They want to go ride through the chaos. Guess what? You're a fucking combatant. Stupid. Don't go to the war zone armed. I'm losing a whole lot of sympathy for everybody involved in all of this. Every time I hear about a dude getting shot by the cops or cops getting shot by some guy, I'm kind of like, I don't even fucking care anymore. Let them all just kill each other and hopefully the good side wins. That's the only thing I can think at this point. Because there is no other choice. I'm fucking not kidding you. There's no other choice. I didn't sleep yesterday very well because for whatever reason I had to sleep on my right side. And my right elbow was fucked up from being slept on. So I turned to my left side, and then for whatever reason, during the night, while I was asleep, for the half an hour or so I got to sleep, I would have to roll over onto my fucking right side, and then within 10 minutes, my arm's hurting again and wake me up. I did that all night long. I even piled up blankets and pillows behind me to try and keep myself from turning, and all I did was roll in place and then wrap my arms around the fucking pillows and blankets and shit. And then, oh, my arm's hurting. It was the stupidest fucking night I've had in a month, probably. I've been sleeping so good since I moved. Nevertheless. Which is why I'm not so tired today, because I actually got good sleep last night. I didn't sleep on my fucking elbow. I slept on the left side all night. So, where was I? I don't know whatever point I was going on to. I don't care anymore. Oh. Now I remember, and it does matter. I didn't sleep. So yesterday, no video. And I didn't care about watching the news. I was like, well, I'm off work. I'm not going to just make myself depressed. So I'm not going to watch the news. So I didn't watch the news. And then today, now I'm catching up with the day's news. And part of my way of catching up with the day's news was a guy at work. I was talking about, video I made. I said the whole, there's a lot of rich 20-something white kids fucking go flying around the country just burning black communities. So I'm like, kind of stupid when you think of it like that, right? And then he shows me like a meme. He says, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying. And I look at the meme, and it's the female Vegas or Nevada or whatever police officer that got shot over the weekend. There's like a picture of her, just a picture of her, and then there's a picture of her shot face, I guess is what it was. And it said something like the same woman that got shot in the jaw over the weekend was the same cop that was laughing about something else that happened, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, you know, it's like karma, man. And I'm like, really? I'm like, is that what we're fucking doing? Really? I said, well, what about all the people that sat outside the hospital laughing and chanting, I hope they die? They all deserve to get shot too? Karma? Like, really? This is where we're fucking going? And he's like, And then he shows me another one. He's like, you gotta see this shit. He's like, did you hear about the other shooting that happened? And I was like, the one in Vegas? And he was like, no, the other one happened like just the other day. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I'm like, what happened now? So he shows me this video. And I'm watching the video and it's got writing on it too. I read the writing and it says, this guy shot 2 cops and then was arrested the next day without incident. And then it's the video of this guy shooting the cops. And I'm like, okay, like, what is that supposed to mean? And he's like, well, black or white dude shot 2 cops and they didn't shoot him. And I'm like, fucking really? I'm like, okay, so he was arrested without incident. Did he turn himself in? Because that would be without incident. But the cops wouldn't have anything to do with that. They're not going to shoot him in the middle of the fucking precinct. Did he not fight with the police when they came to arrest him? Because, like, then yeah, no incident. Like, dude, it doesn't say under what conditions he... Did it say that... I mean, did he fight with the cops? Because I imagine if the dude killed 2 cops and then he decides to fight with the cops that come to arrest him for that, you're taking a real risk there, buddy. Like, you're super dumb if you're doing that. That's suicide by police. I'm sorry. At that point, that's suicide by police. Fuck you. Like, that's as stupid as it gets. You're asking for them to shoot you. And just give them a fucking reason. Don't do it. You fuck, you killed their brother, man. I'm just like, man, fucking. And I'm like, great. So this is what we're fucking down to. Oh, white people just do whatever the fuck they want, and they don't get shot when they get arrested. What happened when he was being arrested? Did he fight with the cops? Because I'm guessing he didn't fight with the cops. And I've been saying this all the time. If you don't fight with the cops, it dramatically increases your chances of survival. If you cooperate fully with whatever it is they want you to do, take it up in court afterwards, man. Don't be stupid. But there's a dude I fucking hear about who's literally saying that we have a right to defend ourselves in this country. And if I believe that the police are in the wrong and they get physical with me, I have a right to defend myself. Lethally, if necessary. I mean, they are armed. So why shouldn't I, as a citizen, defending myself against assault, just shoot first? That's fucking the argument right now. If I think, man. Now look, it's funny enough, I told you a story yesterday about how I didn't run the light. I went speeding through the intersection of a fucking light and then passed a cop going way too fast. And then I said, fuck it, I didn't make him chase me down. I just pulled off and fucking parked, right? Because I respect the law, first of all. And second of all, you know, thank God, because that dude was amped up. You know, if I would have decided, I'll make him chase me for a couple of blocks. that would have probably been way worse. You know what I mean? So, right? So, like, you know, I'm the type of person that if I know I'm doing something stupid, then yeah, I'll pull over and be like, well, fuck me, you got me. You know, like, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to make it worse for myself. I'm not that dumb. I'm dumb enough to bend little laws here and there, but I'm not so stupid as to just say, fuck my life! And, you know, and hell no, I ain't doing that. That's dumb. But apparently, not everybody's like me for some odd reason. And some people figure I ain't doing nothing is a good enough defense that the cops should just go, oh, well, you're not doing anything? Alright then, sorry to have bothered you, sir. Huh? Like, no, it doesn't fucking work that way. Like, huh? So, yeah, this dude honestly thinks if I think that the cops are doing something wrong, well, fuck it, I got the right to defend myself as I would anybody else attacking me. So, yeah, now that's, you know, that's becoming a thing, right? And I guess in Milwaukee, there's a group of people that are going around a racist house. I mean, I can't. I mean, I can't even entirely say it all that way. There's a group of people that went to a racist house, and they protested in front of this racist house. I noticed in the pictures this racist had a Trump flag. I'm not saying that can't possibly mean that he's racist. I'm just saying. Well, I guess when I get to the rest of it, I am burying the lead on that part a little bit. Hold up. Allow me to collect myself. Here's the way out. There's a group advertising itself on, I believe, Facebook or Twitter, one of the platforms. I don't know. There's a group advertising itself as desiring to going around and having protest parties in front of the homes of Trump supporters. They are doxing these people and saying we're going to go and yell and scream and be obnoxious in front of this dude's house because he's racist. Right? So, they go to this dude's house because he's racist. And they all get out in front of his house because he's racist. And apparently, like a week before, they had decided to go and exact some mob justice at somebody else's house that they had believed, I guess, kidnapped some children. So they tried to burn the house down. And lo and behold, the kids weren't there. They were playing at somebody else's house. They were fine. But, you know, they were really sure with their kick-ass detective work that they did online with their little community Facebook page, their kick-ass detective work, you know, they figured out the house of the people that keep all the lost kids in the neighborhood. I shit you fucking not. This was their argument. So they went to that person's house. And the police went to that person's house. And the police looked around and said, no, kids aren't here. And then they knocked on everybody else's door while the mob, still so sure that the kids were in that house, hung out outside of that house. And then the police did their investigation and said, fucking kids aren't in this neighborhood. We cannot find them. And then the police left. And then these people burned that house down. Burned it all the way down, but nevertheless burned it. And the kids weren't there. Now, I mean, even shitty cops won't burn your house. Like, even really shitty cops in that situation would have just arrested those people, drug them down to the station, searched the fucking shit out of their house, maybe tossed the place a little bit, you know, knocked some shit over, maybe broke some things. But they wouldn't have set it on fire. This is like, But, you know, the online mob, man, they knew those kids were in there. And they knew that this dude was racist. Right? Now, I'm not saying he was or wasn't. I don't fucking know the man. They're saying he was. I'm sure he's saying he's not. Okay. But he did have a Trump flag out front of his house. Which gives me suspicion. And these people, I'm guessing, don't like Donald Trump. Because I know they don't like the police. Because they're planning a little protest party for like the sheriff's house or some shit like that, right? I know they don't like the police. Because they believe they have a right to defend themselves against them. Because I tell you if I'm committing a crime, motherfucker. You don't tell me. This is their mindset. So, they show up to this racist dude's house. Right? We'll just roll with it. Fuck it. Show up to this racist guy's house. And they're shining lights in his window and being obnoxious and loud and all that kind of stuff. I told you they burned a house like previously, right? So this is kind of like generally the same group of people. Because it's all the same area, too. I forget to mention that. It's Milwaukee. It's all Milwaukee. A house burned in Milwaukee. Mob. Justice. Right? Mob in front of this dude's house. Right? So they're out there being obnoxious and shit. And talking about how he's racist. And then, so he gets his shotgun. From inside the house. And like, you know, shows him, motherfucker, I got a shotgun. I will shoot you. And then, you know, the cops come. And they arrested him. I mean, I didn't hear that they burned his house afterwards. I think they just hung out and laughed a lot. Apparently, they deserved to be shot. You know, their logic, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so this shit is what 1,000 years of darkness looks like, man. I'm not even fucking kidding you. This is what 1,000 years of darkness fucking looks like. We are staring down the barrel of it. We're getting a good taste. You've got rich white kids with nothing better to do with their time than fly around the country and burn down black communities, right? And then you've got black people that have nothing better to do with their time than to go and harass some fucking guy they don't like, get him arrested. And they're planning on doing it again. They're planning it on Facebook. Facebook's fine with it. They don't mind that they're doxing people and going to them to harass them. Because they don't want them coming to Facebook headquarters and harassing them. Are you fucking kidding me? The cops can't do anything about it. They're not allowed. The governor says so. Donald Trump wants to do something about it, but it's that whole pesky Constitution. He can't just roll in. I mean, yes, he can enact the Insurrection Act. He can. But if he were to, you honestly think that Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, all these fucking people are going to not fight that? Right? They're not going to claim some sort of fucking something. They're not going to make some fucking stink about it. They're not going to decide to waste all our money into a fucking 12-year investigation into why do you do that? Just to go and arrest peaceful protesters? Like, this is what 1,000 years of darkness will look like if Donald Trump is reelected, but doesn't win all branches of government. Let's be honest. If Donald Trump loses the House, or loses the Senate, and the Democrats keep the House, if they win both sides of Congress, if they win that, and Donald Trump stays president, they will remove Donald Trump from office before he's inaugurated. Like, they'll figure out a way to fucking make that shit happen. So, no Donald Trump. Sorry. You obviously, the people told us they don't want Donald Trump, even though they voted for Donald Trump too. That'll be their fucking argument. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You idiots, you just listen and obey. If Donald Trump wins everything, Senate, House, President, then yeah, most likely he'll do some Insurrection Act shit. The Democrats will freak out about it, but everybody will tell them to shut the fuck up and sit down. Nobody wanted them. And hopefully he doesn't turn into Caesar. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, personally, just me personally, I don't think that would happen. But I've been wrong before. Who knows? But it's gonna be the only way to get all this shit to stop. Because if Joe Biden wins and gets, let's say Joe Biden wins this week too, gets all three. Full house, right? Joe Biden wins, gets everything. Well, all of them have already knelt to the whole idea of all of this. They supported the riots in Portland for 80 some days. They're spineless, ineffectual, worthless people. The beatings will continue until the mob gets what they want. And they will, shit, they're already giving it to them in most places. You think if the federal government was entirely controlled by spineless wimps, that they wouldn't just, okay, well, I guess we don't have police anymore? You honestly think that wouldn't happen? They've already been pulling billions of dollars out of police departments. Are you fucking kidding me? They'll do it just to make the beatings stop. They don't fucking care. And anytime it's a Trump supporter, you won't hear about it. Except on Fox. Of course, Fox will be illegal. Why would I think they'd make Fox illegal? Well, they did refuse to allow Fox to host a Democratic debate. Because they would. Because the Fox is the only fucking place that's saying anything that isn't entirely horseshit. Everybody else is lying 100%. Fox is lying 50, 60. So, fuck, man. Like, that's what 1,000 years of darkness looks like, man. And if Joe Biden wins this split, it's the same thing. Beatings will continue until we get what we want. So it literally is Trump wins everything, or the beatings will continue until we get what we want. That's what the mob is telling us. Either you put somebody in charge with the balls to put us back in line, or the beatings will continue until we get what we want. And what we want is no police, no prisons, anarchy. We want to be able to rape, rob, or murder anybody we choose. And we don't want there to be police to fucking catch us. And we don't want there to be prisons with which to hold us. Or do you honestly think that after all of these thousands of years that we've had police just generally in the fucking world, you're seriously going to tell me that all violence originates just from the fact that we have peacekeepers? And if there literally were no cops, then nobody would commit crimes? I mean, if there was no cops, no courts, no prisons, then yeah, nobody would commit crimes. Who's to fucking say who's wrong anymore? I'm gonna come take your shit. And if you don't stop me, well, maybe I'll fuck you next. And we'll see where your line is. Awesome. That's beautiful. What grand utopia. They've really sold it to me. By rioting. We want there to not be cops. If there wasn't cops, there wouldn't be crime. Now, burn this place. But you're committing the crimes. I'm seeing you commit the crimes. Why the fuck should I believe you? Thousand years of darkness. And we've been living in it for, I don't know, a couple of days now at least, probably. It begins. So, I mean, honestly, if any of you out there can tell me how anything other than a complete across-board Republican victory, how anything other than that makes the beating stop, I would love to hear your theory. But my theory is, what we're being told by all of this is, either you put somebody in charge with the balls to make us stop, or the beatings will continue until we get what we want. And what we want is license. License to do to whomever we wish, whatever we wish. We'll accept nothing less. Well, alright then. My choice is pretty fucking clear. I think I'm probably going to go register tomorrow. Because I got to get my my birthday sticker, and I got to renew my license too. But, yeah. So, yeah, I'll probably be doing that tomorrow. And yes, I will probably be voting this year in the election. Because, man, I want the beatings to stop. And like, I want the beatings to stop. Like, I don't want to do the whole thing where we cave and then the beatings just continue, but nobody cares because it's just allowed now. Like, I don't want that. I want people that are doing the beating, I want them stopped. So, and that's exactly why I don't wear my Trump hats outdoors. That's why I go to great lengths to hide myself from anybody who may be watching. Because it's 1,000 years of darkness. And if they're not fucking... Did I even finish the story about Jay Davis? Did I fucking just roll into a whole different point and just not even finish the story about Jay Davis? Jesus Christ. So, alright. Where was I? I think I just got into they were rolling through town. So the rolling through town thing with the Trump supporters wound down. Yeah, fuck it. We're going to keep going. So that wound down. And then... everybody's kind of milling around, doing their thing. These guys are heading towards home or whatever. Heading towards their car to go home. I don't know. And there's photographs, still images that I've seen from surveillance camera footage showing the guy who did the executing watching the two guys, the one guy that he executed and the other guy that was with that guy, watching them walk down the street. And he followed them. And on the video, you can hear somebody say, "We got a couple right here." Somebody else says, "Right here." Somebody goes, "Yeah." Bang, bang. And the dude runs away. One dude kind of dead. Cops go to arrest that guy. Apparently he did an interview with the newspaper. Said, "Yeah, I shot that guy." Said that he was surrounded by Trump supporters that were waving guns at him and stuff like that. And the guy that he shot was about to beat up some black dude that he knew. And he wasn't going to stand for that, so he shot the dude. And I'm like, well, I saw the video, and there were two cars in the road. That was it. There were just two cars in the road. The dude wasn't surrounded. It didn't look like these guys were about to beat up anybody. It looked like they were just walking home. So I don't... like, this dude's story doesn't fucking check at all. And they're like, you know, and the cops went to arrest him, and he fought the cops, so he's dead. And now they're like blaming the cops for his death. And they're calling him a hero because he had the balls to go kill a racist. This fucking dude. 1,000 years of darkness. I've told you guys about we're heading towards 1,000 years of darkness. I think I've said that shit for a couple of years now. I've been talking about 1,000 years of darkness. This is what I was talking about. Fucking lawlessness. Where do you think it goes from here? This is why I keep saying that, why I made that video where I said everybody needs to continue to follow the rules. Because, you know, they're like Roadhouse. Who else saw Roadhouse? It says fucking be nice. Well, what if he calls my mama a slut? Is she? Be nice. Be nice until it's time to not be nice. And I'm telling you what it's going to be. I'm not issuing any orders. I'm not giving any commands. I'm just telling you the obvious as far as I'm fucking concerned. If Donald Trump wins across the board, beatings will stop and a whole different phase of the war will begin. What that's going to be, not entirely sure yet. But I can think of some things and it's pretty fucking horrific. Donald Trump loses. That's when you're going to see people who are deciding that it is no longer time to be nice. When you're going to have people who are going to decide it is no longer time to play by the rules. Because the left isn't playing by the rules already. And they're not even in charge yet. If the left becomes in charge, they're still not going to play by the rules. They're just going to have a greater leniency to not play by the rules with. It's going to be pretty much open season. Oh, somebody killed a Trump supporter? Well, he's a racist. How much do we really care? That's going to kind of be the thing. And as soon as that becomes the thing, I know exactly what that leads to. People defending themselves. And when you got mobs of people going out and attacking individuals, you're going to quickly spawn mobs of individuals who are going to come out and attack the mob of other individuals that's attacking the individual. Like, this is the way that shit worked in Milwaukee. A dude goes to a dude's house and the house starts live streaming. We're here looking for these kids. A dozen or so people turn into a couple of hundred people. Just like that. Right? And so, what happens when a mob decides to go to a racist's house, and that racist starts live streaming the mob, saying they're coming after me, I need help. He's calling in his backup now, and then a dozen people turns into 100 people, which then all of a sudden turns into 1,000 people, and 900 of them are armed. Like, where do you think that goes? There's this comic that I love. It's called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. For those of you familiar with it, you're probably going, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you're probably going, huh? For those of you who aren't familiar with it, you might be thinking that it's some sort of gruesome horror thing. It's not. It's actually quite cerebral. And there's one particular bit that I like a lot. He's not really a sane guy, Johnny, me as we call him. He has a lot of kind of imaginary pets, which may or may not entirely be imaginary. One of them happens to be the floating head of a rabbit that he had, that he called Nail Bunny. He called it Nail Bunny because he found this bunny and just drove a nail through it into the wall. So it was Nail Bunny. And then he got angry at Nail Bunny, ripped its head off. So then Nail Bunny just kind of floated with me. Anyways, Nail Bunny was kind of like his conscience almost, right? He was kind of like the last rational, reasonable part of him almost. And comic where they're going through this, he's going through this huge dialogue back and forth. I mean, sometimes some of the panels, it's like the panel's this big and the picture is there, all the rest of it is text. Like, that's how fucking wordy some of these comics get. Very good too. A lot of introspective shit. Really crazy. Anyways, so going through this whole big thing, and at the end of it, obviously, Johnny does not get quite the answer he was hoping to get, because he's hoping to get the answers to like the universe out of this conversation, and Nail Bunny's just kind of like, man, I don't know. And the last page of the comic is Nail Bunny. Nail Bunny says, Yanni. He goes, I'm really depressed. And like, I'm just like, I just find myself saying that a lot these days. Thinking of that fucking panel a lot these days. Nail Bunny, I'm really depressed. It's just, it's fucking, you know, like, I don't know. Again, the fact as to whether or not there will be a civil war after the election, as far as I'm considering, is academic. We are already in a civil war. It's fucking here. Only difference is going to be how long it lasts and how bloody it gets. With Donald Trump, we have the greatest possibility for the shortest amount of the time with the least amount of blood. Really it.